Did that just happen?
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sydney University. It's a round 11 clash between the Sydney University students and the UTS Bats. We apologise for the late start, a few technical issues here at the university, with the news that the Sydney University at the moment leading by 1 point, 117. The UTS Bats just the one goal as the Sydney University, as the students put through another point, increase the margin by 2 points. Very wet day here today at the university, but glad to see that the Oval is still open. Some of the earlier games being cancelled to make sure that this main game went ahead. As we come out of defence, long kick by the Bats. Up there is Tregoning around the pack. Very tough ball to get a handle on at the moment. Umpire sees a free kick there, and it'll go. Flanagan kicks it in forward. That's a very strong mark. Umpire pays that. Steinford for the Bats, backing into a pack on a wet day. Very good condition. Comes out now. Late number change. Chase it up at quarter time, and the ball out here on the wing. Sam Way with the ball. Looks down the line. Plenty of numbers around this pack. The fist comes up. UTS be happy to get this over the boundary line, you'd think. In there is Mayrick for the Bats. And the ball does go over the boundary line, and we'll see a boundary throw in. All up against the students today. Haven't had the best of seasons so far in 2012. Comes down once again. Another pack forms around this pack. And the umpire has no option but to throw it up. In the ruck there for the Bats. Minicello goes up. Ball comes down again. Pack forms. Going to see a lot of this today, a lot of stoppages. Probably playing to the hands of the students today. Of course, we'll be referring to Sydney University as the students, and of course the UTS Bats. Both university teams here in Sydney. Once again, we'll see a ball up. Sydney University currently sitting 9th on the Sydney AFL ladder. UTS enjoying 5th spot at the moment. Once again, it's not going to be the prettiest of football here today at the University Oval. Comes out. Kennedy it was for the students. Eventually got the ball away, but plenty of tackling, plenty of fumbled football. I think the team that adapts best to the wet today is the one that's going to take away the 4 points. Kennedy for the Students, brings it down. Healy just bats it forward. Unfortunately, the kick offline. We'll have a free kick taken by Mick Carey. No. So once again, we kick down the line. Plenty of numbers again. This one will be boundary throw in. A lot of football being played at different venues today. A lot of games being cancelled or postponed. It's great to see that we're able to scramble at the last minute and make sure that we're bringing you a live streaming game here at Sydney University. McFarlane it was there that just couldn't keep the ball in. The rain getting very heavy. But surprisingly, the ground looking in very good condition. Unfortunately, it's just going to be the water that's going to spoil some good football here today. Sydney Uni just trying to scrub the ball forward. In there is Crow, but the kick comes away. Kennedy scrubs it forward. Once again, outside. Ball just seems to be stuck. Oh, umpire, he's thought about it. Threw his hand up twice, but decided to let the ball play. Hitting the ball hard was Handmore for the Bats, but it's a great tackle. Well rewarded by Alex Horton. Saw him a couple of weeks ago. He was very good. See how he handles these wet conditions. Mark taken by Boland right on the line. On the slippery AstroTurf area of Sydney University. He goes back to where it came from. Be a good mark to take this. Ball comes down and over the boundary line. It's repeating. We probably played about 18 minutes of this first quarter. Our time clock, unfortunately, not started at the right time of this quarter, but 18 minutes is the mark of the first quarter, and the margin 2 points in favour of the Sydney Uni Students. And this boundary umpire certainly going to earn his money today. Not only is he out there in the wet, he's been made to do a lot of work early in this quarter. Morley up for the Bats. He punches it forward, comes back through. That was Way again. The ball pushes forward. Can the Students get this out of trouble? Comes through Kennedy. Just thrown on the boot, get it out of the danger zone, but it's all Bats here. And a good mark taken by Mayrick. He looks up forward. Not a lot on offer. So he just goes to the spot. Nice, would have been a push in the back there, but the umpire says play on. Ball comes out. Unfortunately goes straight back in again. Sydney Uni just clear the area through the middle, but once again it's a University a technology man standing on the mark. He throws in forward, inside 50, but the kick was a wayward one. So Sydney Uni now just trying to get this ball in their front half, but once again they fall down. Ball comes through Tregoning. He throws it on the boot, goes inside 50, but again, Sydney University repel the attack. And it comes. A couple of numbers out there for Sydney University that we haven't got on our team sheet. We'll see a boundary throw in. Ball wrapped up just on the wing area of number 1 oval. Umpire says holding the ball. And the Students are away. Coming down the far side, kick to a contest. The ball comes out, nearly pops over the line, and this time it does. There was Fig for the Students. He's going to have a big day today if the Students are going to get this one. Your leading goal kicker. He's kicked only 10 for the season. Umpire's seen a free kick here. The free kick will go to Morley. Play on is the call. They push it forward. Plenty of Students around this. A lot of football being played on knees at the moment. This one will be wrapped up, and the umpire will have to throw this in the deck. Umpire Frank Kalasic comes in just to try and sort this out. Very wet conditions. We've seen a lot of rain in Sydney this week. A little bit of respite yesterday, but the heavens did open up again this morning. And There's a lot of surface water here at the number 1 oval, making football very difficult. Once again, pack forms. Very hard to see who's in there. Try and get the numbers while we can. A little bit of work in the middle centre, then we'll see probably 2 black teams out there before the end of the day. Go again. Handmore goes up in the ruck. He's up against Doughty for the Students. Ball comes to the back. Just turns around. Not a great kick. And Mayrick just bombs it long, looking for an option. Ball wrapped up, could be high. Umpire saw it. Wallace it was who laid the tackle. And Kennedy will take the kick. Callum Kennedy doesn't go back. Just kicks off one step. Probably not the option today in the wet weather. And we're in the middle. Students just off the deck. And it'll be interesting to see what the umpire calls here. And Frank Collage has called that deliberate. Didn't disguise it very well. It'll be Horton to take the kick just outside 50, too far out to score, you'd say, in these conditions. Puts it to the top of the spot. Ball comes down, but good signs for the Students in their attacking zone. The boundary umpire will throw that in. Fig goes up in the ruck, brings it down. Nice little kick by Carter, but it's not 15. The umpire says play on. Plenty of numbers over that, could have been high. Comes back out again. Quick kick by Carey is offline. We'll see another boundary throw in. Yes, as we said earlier, UTS currently sitting in 5th spot, enjoying a top 5 spot at the moment. Keen to get this one under the belt going into the second half of the season. Adamson throws it on the boot, goes down the line. Up there, Wallace for the Bats. Gets it out. It's Hall wrapped up. Ball comes clear. Students behind the ball here doing well. Yeah, umpire's seen that, just jumped him when he was back. And the kick will be McKay for the Students. Quite a few changes from the team sheet that was submitted. Dean McKay drives it back into the attacking zone. This will be a good kick. Fig goes up. Doesn't bring it down, but the ball comes clear. It's a nice kick off the boot. And the ball will be rushed through for a rush behind. So the margin 3 points. 24-minute mark of this first quarter. I have to think there wouldn't be too much time on play today. Ball comes out. Just get it out of the danger zone. UTS Bats go up the line. Handmore there as well as Healy. He throws it on the hands. Finds Way. Way now kicks it forward. They've moved this well, the Bats. Students are able to just repel the attack, but not getting out of the danger zone just yet. Tregoning. Once again, the Students just get it out. Push it forward. There is Carter, but he couldn't get the ball. Comes down. Adamson it was who threw it on the boot. Goes up the line. Just get it off the deck. A good option in today's conditions. The rain, if it can, looks like it's getting a bit heavier as well. Ball goes out. We'll see another boundary throw in. Far side of the University Oval, number 1. As we said, very happy to see the ground open for today's games. A lot of grounds in Sydney today closed for football. And there was Kennedy for the Students. Just pushes it forward. Here they go again. Can they build something now late in the quarter? There's plenty of Bats around this ball. Starting to take the pace off it. Handmore it was. Pushes it forward. A lot of Students around this. Just need to lift the eyes. Look for an option forward. Dyson got it off the deck. The kick goes high. Gives opportunity. And it was a good wake there by Alex Horton. Got the ball clear. And once again, the umpire will be asked the question. Throw it in is the answer. Slightly better disguised was that kick. Alex Horton certainly asked the question. Kennedy up now. Comes down. Can they get this forward? Ball, nice punch on there. Crow it is. Oh, that nearly snuck in. Would have been a fantastic goal here, as it was only just missed to the near side. That could have been one of the goals of the year. Dying stages of this first quarter. We've played 27.5 minutes. Ball comes down. Through the centre is McFarlane. He throws it forward. Nice. Comfortable mark there in the back line. We come out now through Kirkham. Can he keep this in? He does. Brings it back inside. Now has options. Just goes long. Looking at the back of the pack. Not many students there. It's all Bats. Picking up was Turner. Throws it on the boot, but they've done well to get numbers here. Kennedy off the deck. Another good handball over the top. Just need to push it forward. Can they get another goal before the quarter-time break? Horton goes down. Could have been high. Umpire says no. Could be in trouble, but he's just shaking it off. And there's the quarter-time siren. A tough quarter of football here at University Oval number 1. But it's the students at the moment leading by 4 points. They lead 1 goal 4-10. UTS 1 goal 6. Take a break for quarter time. We'll be back shortly for all the action from the second quarter. So back here at the University Oval, number 1 for the second quarter. Round 11 clash between the Sydney University Students and the UTS Bats. Quarter time. 1-4 to the Students. Just a single goal to the Bats. So we get underway for the second quarter. Ball being thrown up in the very muddy deck in the middle here at the number 1 oval. Very tough conditions to play football in as the Bats throw it forward. Mark nearly taken down there. In fact, the free kick is going to go to the Bats. Might be a bit proppy there. It's James Keisha for the Bats. He's elected to take his kick. Almost took the mark in, but the umpire deemed him to be pushed in the back. Ideally like this to start off their second quarter, the Bats. As they said before, currently sitting 5th on the ladder. Sydney Uni on 9th. Just the 1 win for the Students so far this year. Keisha kicks. Looks good off the boot. The umpire doesn't move. They've scored their first for the quarter. They take the lead by 2 points. Just the start they'd be looking for the Bats. But a pretty good run so far, UTS. Played the Bulldogs in round 1. Went down by 68 points, but won their next 4 games. They've only dropped 2 games since then. They've been great improvers in the AFL Sydney competition. They're going favourites today, but the conditions are going to be a real equaliser for these 2 teams. The team that can handle the conditions the better is likely to come on top. It's called here. The kick's going to go to UTS. The call by the boundary umpire was the player was pushed into the square. So they go forward again. Big men fly, comes back down. That there was Gardner who got it out. On the right left boot was Healy. He snapped it, and he snapped truly. It's a fantastic goal. 2 goals in the first 2 minutes here for the Bats. After taking a lead into the quarter-time break, Students are now 8 points behind. Only 2 minutes into this second quarter. Just waiting on the ball to come back. Stuck up the hill. It'll be a long day if we're going to be waiting for the football to come back every goal. Plenty of grass on this University Oval, which is probably holding it in good stead despite the weather that we've had. But this centre wicket pitch, as we see at many grounds around Sydney, slowly but surely turning into just an absolute mud heap. Kalasic throws the ball in the air. Kennedy and Morley, it is a go at it. Comes down just off the deck there. McFarlane trying to get the ball forward. But it was Carey who threw it on the boot. They go forward, but it's all Bats at the moment. Ball with Steinfort, just dribbles it onto the boot, gets it forward. Now chance here for the Students to go forward. Mark, the handball not hitting its mark, but the ball goes in forward. Here's Fig. Can he turn around on it? No. Chance there for Horton. Plenty of players around it. It's going to get bottled up now. Really needed that first kick off the deck. Unfortunate for the Sydney University. They're holding their family day here today. That punch. Just see in the background some great initiative. A lot of the junior clubs in the area, including the Newtown Swans, the Glebe Greyhounds and the Moore Park Tigers. Having a family day on the top oval. Not the greatest conditions, but I'm sure the kids are loving a run in the mud. Here it is for the Students. Goes forward. Fig. Can he get it off the deck? Just throws it on the boots. Just dribbles through for the minor score. It's a great initiative by the Sydney University Club. It's Bendigo Bank Piermont Family Day. Comes forward now. Turner. He goes wide. Looking to build something here, the Bats. Good kick off the boot. Can it stay in? No. Ball will go out of bounds on the full. Kick there by Steinfort. Very tough conditions. Comes back now with the ball. Underwood. Pack forms, Kennedy in there for the students. Ball's on the deck, plenty of numbers around this, as we've said all day today. Very tough conditions. The umpire will throw this up. All the players at the moment on this near side of the ground just sort of following the ball across. Mitch Hall there held into him, had no opportunity, and another ruck contest will form. Comes down now. Umpire gets hit with the ball, so it's play on. Hitting the ball hard there. Underwood comes back through. Now the Bats get it onto the boot. Comes forward. Good run there by Gardner. But the kick, it's almost as if there's a magnet towards the barbecue here at Sydney University, and the ball keeps going that way. It does smell nice. Up the line again. Very tough to take a mark on a day like today. Linus in there. Good handball out. Comes now through air. He goes long, looking for Fig, and that's a fantastic mark in the wet. Michael Fig, too far out to score, you'd think. So he just bombs it long. Players on their own. It's going to be a good mark, and they've done well there, the Bats, to bring that to deck. Handmore it was with the spoil. A fantastic mark by Michael Fig. He's got a very good set of hands. Missing for UTS today is their goal kicking machine in Lavender. And they'll miss him. Tregoning it was, just punts the ball long and goes out. Of course, Sydney Uni were scheduled to play Balmain last week. That game washed out. This game was in danger of being washed out, but to their credit, the ground remained open. UTS, on the other hand, had a very hard-fought win over Western Suburbs in the wet. That will certainly give them some experience playing with the wet football they may need today. Comes out now. Just throwing it on the boot, hoping for something. Not a good day for big man, but that was a good work there by Kennedy for the students. Now in there was Hall. His handball hits the deck. Just trying to get the ball clear. They work it well, the Bats. One step kick. Nearly brought that down. Here it is again, Keisha, I think it is. Throws it on the boot. Minor score, margin out to 8 points. See, we played just over 7.5 minutes of this second quarter. It was UTS who came out on fire. Kicked the first 2 of the quarter after going down, or being behind at quarter time at least. Students playing very much a huddle. Kennedy, Ryan Kennedy, the option there. Reichman in there claiming the free kick, but the umpire has no option. And we'll throw the ball down. Kennedy does well, gets the second touch there. Throws on the hands, but it's the Bats who steal it away. Hall gets to try to get it forward. Hits the ball running. As we've seen a number of times today, the ball going out of bounds on this near side. A little bit going on off the ball. Couldn't go at it. Just throws on the boot, Morley. Comes back now from the students. Hall snaffles this one away. Just can't seem to find a handle. Clean football is going to be very hard to find today. Air swing there from the Bats. Going in hard was Mayrick, and he's earned himself a free kick. That was good play. McQuirk nearly got in the way, so he drives it long. Inside 50, but it comes straight back out. Students now just need to get it on the boot. The ball not clear. Play on, says the umpire. Now can the students work something? McGuirk it was. Throws it forward through Crockmold. 2 experienced players there. Here it is Horton. Horton goes for a ride. Comes down the other side without the football, unfortunately. In again there was Crockmold. Just throws it on the boot. Trying to get this one clear. And once again the ball will be held up. Plenty of stoppages here at the University Oval. Up we go again. Comes down, throws on the boot was Steinfort for the Bats. Ball goes lateral. Now, looking to move it forward is Crow. He does so. Great kick to the spot. Could have got a free kick and does. A little bit going on. Carey it is. Pretty happy to let his opponent know that the kick is his. Now he has to go back and kick the goal. And that really will show his opponent who's in charge at the moment. Mick Carey looks confident, but with a heavy ball, not an easy kick. Throws on the boot, looks good off the boot, umpire fading to the right, and it goes through just for the minor score. They would have dearly loved that one, the students. Margin now back to 7. Adamson it'll be to kick the ball back in. His option just to go long through the middle. Steinfort there at the back of the pack. Ball comes clear. Handmore it was on the deck. Once again pushes it forward. They've done well here, the Bats, just to move this ball into their attacking zone. Once again just trying to keep it going forward, but a good clearing kick there by McKay. Sees the students repelling the attack. Now with air, he goes backwards to go forwards. Kennedy now has it on the hands. Dyson as he throws on the boot, but he just did not look. And it was all UTS. They'd formed the wall. And here it comes back in again. Plenty of students around this. Kennedy couldn't hold the ball. Nice attack on the football. There might have been something there, but the umpire says play on. Ball comes across. Fitzpatrick it is with the ball. His short kick finds McGuirk. Happy to just slow it down, looking for options, wanting to hold possession of the football. Fig could have taken it, but the ball bounces off the chest. They go forward again, the students. Couldn't quite hold it, was Steinfort. Does well, though, to avoid being tackled with the ball. And the umpire's seen it's deemed it a throw. Not happy there, Turner. And they've played on the students, not the option. Ball comes down. Fig it is now onto the football. Goes to deck, puts the brakes on, slides right through. Comes back now. Can they build something here, the students? Looking for, I think it's Horton at the back. Just called it out. Might have done something there, McGuirk. Comes up, probably holding his head at the moment, so he copped a knock high. Just outside the 50 zone for the students. Comes down. High tackle, and it's Robertson. They've played on. Horton it was who threw it on the boot. Probably not the option when he thinks about it. And a minus score is the result. 1 goal, 7 it is now to the students. They dearly love to convert some of these behinds into goals. Good kick there out from full back. And they'll build again, the Bats. Morley, another great mark. Very good hands for a big man. Throws it on the boot. 2 kicks and they're inside the attacking zone. Dribbles through for a rush behind. Good movement by the Bats. Clean football, if you can get it today, is the option, and then just bomb it long. 1 goal, 7 and plays 3 goals, 2. They've had plenty of football, the students. UTS scoring the first 2 goals of this quarter. Since then, the students have had plenty of opportunities. Unfortunately, not able to get the major through the goals. Ball comes out now, but the kick is an ordinary one. And it lands in the hands of O'Dwyer. And straight away he sets himself to go back and kick the goal. O'Dwyer now, this for the 3rd of the quarter. Kick just pulls a little, but it's going fading. Almost had the legs. But a minus score, 3 goals, 3 now, the Bats. Kick out comes McKay it was, and a good spoil there Intensity on the football just seems to be that notch above Sydney Uni at the moment. They'll have to do something about that, the students. Desperately need to get a goal on the board. Just coming up to the 15-minute mark of the second quarter. Kennedy, it is in the ruck against Morley. Kennedy wins this one down. Comes through Crow at the bottom of the pack. He's working hard, just trying to get the ball forward. In there as well is Doherty for the students. The kick comes off the boot. Fortunately, ran out of room. The ball goes over the boundary line for a free kick now to the students. Tim Eyre with the ball. Looks like he's just going to go long. Not a bad option in the wet today. Fig at the back of the pack, just can't get a run at it. Comes down Morley, doing a ton of work around the ground at the moment for the Bats. Pushes it forward. That was Healy. His handball goes to Keisha. Inside again, he turns quickly. Almost brought that down. O'Dwyer. But now the students, through Crow, push it forward. But once again, it's Morley just pushing back that big man in defence. And he'll just bomb it long, get them out of the area. And that's exactly what he does. Doing a ton of work at the moment, Andrew Morley, for the Bats. Just being that option behind the play, and once again setting himself up in that same spot at the moment. Down they come. Keisha it was again, throws it forward. No, ball comes. This is Keisha. Tries to run out of the pack, doesn't do so. Gets caught. The handball off the deck. He's got himself a free kick though. Umpire deemed that to be in the back. Jacob Swartz it was. James Keisha will have another shot on goal. This will be a very tough kick. In the context, I suppose, a shot at goal is probably better than just popping it forward. Not a lot of players at the full the ball for the Bats. Sydney Uni have pushed a lot of players back. So they want to make the distance, hopefully through the middle. Just the minor score for Keisha. One goal, 7 the students, 3 goals, 4 UTS. 17.5 minutes of this second quarter. AFL Sydney match of the week, as we said earlier. A lot of games being moved around. We were scheduled to be over at Gore Hill today, but that game unfortunately had to be transferred across to Blacktown Oval number 2. In there is Fig. He's worked himself up the ground for the students. Also in there, Crockmull, but it's the Bats who take it away and just throw it forward. And here's Keisha again. It's causing headaches for the students at the moment. This one on a slightly better angle than the last. Slightly closer in as well. Be very keen to see this through the big sticks. Currently 7th on the goal kicking ladder is James Keisha. Kicked 17 goals in his 10 matches. Playing that small forward role for the Bats. Here he goes. Nice short stab kick, but this one looks good. The umpire likes it. And the Bats have got another one. They've kicked the only goals in this quarter. That's their 3rd for the quarter. They now lead by 15 points. It's 1 goal, 7 of the students. Much better kicking by the Bats at the moment. 4 goals, 4. Once again, James Keisha allowing his teammates and his opponents know who kicked the goal. But we're back in the centre. 15 points the margin at the moment, and in these conditions, a winning margin, as we said. The Bats played out a very hard-fought win last week. They got up over Western Suburbs 5-12-42. Western Suburbs 4-7-31. Comes out again now. The students push it forward. But once again, just that wall of defence that the UTS have set up. Bangs it long. Comes down to Sam Way. Throws on the left boot. And it's a good kick. He's found Flanagan. Flanagan on the right boot. Goes forward. Pack forms. No one can get this, but it's Keisha. Couldn't find the handle. Turns around. Could have been in the back to Healy, but the umpire says play on. And now he finds the free kick.
Yeah, Crow. Go, Crow. Go, Crow.
And it's...
Crow, go.
Nick Lai. Just looking for the option. Very different game plan at the moment to what the Bats are playing. Students really looking to maintain possession, whereas the Bats quite happy to just throw the ball on the boot, kick it long. Seems to be working at the moment as well for the Bats. Kennedy in the ruck. You go up against, looks like Morley in there. And once again, the ball hits the deck, wrapped up. Healy at the bottom of the pack. Umpire letting this go. It looks like, oh, could have been a bit there. Flanagan has got the free kick. No need for it, says Frank umpire. Nick Lai, sorry, Kennedy gives away the free kick. Throws it on the boot at the back of the pack. Plenty form. Oh, tough battle there. It was McFarlane for the Students who was wrapped up well. Lai just throws it on the boot once again. Comes back with interest from Healy. Kirkham takes the mark for the Students. He plays on, but the kick's not a good one. They could get away with this, but there's plenty of Bats around the ball. Comes up, Kirkhope it is, turns inside. Left boot, big fly there by Minicello, but the ball comes to the deck. Gardner throws it out. The kick from Way couldn't find its way. They'll have a boundary throw in right next to the post. Just struggling to get that ball forward at the moment, the Students. Ticked into time on in this second quarter. 1 goal 7, 4 goals 4. It's the Bats by 15 points. Comes back down now. Comes to Kirkhope. He bangs it in long again. Kaser at the back looking dangerous. Students have got this clear. Crockmole in there. He's wrapped up. He'll do well here just to hold this ball up. Can ill afford another goal here, the Students. They'll be very keen to get the ball to the other end of the ground. Knock one through just before half time. Kaser may have been taken high. The umpire said no, the ball was touched. It goes through for a minor score. The margin 16 points. Out they come. But the kick, well, it's come off well. Crockmole was the recipient of a good bounce. Now Kirkham, he goes through the middle. Air throws it wide, sets his teammate a task there in Holmes. Does very well, comes back inside, but chopped off was Linus, the big man in defence. Once again, Sydney Uni just going short, looking for the option. Whereas the Bats just happy to throw it on the boot. Comes through Kirkhope. It's all Students, they'll do well for a Shepherd here. Oh, there'll be a good tackle. Very heavy tackle laid by Minicello. They keep moving forward, the Students. Can they get one on just before half time? Crockmole leaves it behind him. In they come now to form the pack. Ball's out. Trying to get some sort of clean football at the moment, but very difficult. Off the deck. That was Doty. Lays the tackle. Umpire says he never had the ball. And the kick will be taken by Wallace. We're in the 88 for the UTS Bats. Puts it long. Not really going to the advantage of either team. Crow tried hard to get his hands on it. They were behind last week, the Bats, when they were playing Western Suburbs, but they rallied. Were able to peg back the margin. Very tough conditions in the wet last week. Persistent rain all across Sydney. We've got the same conditions again today. Out it comes. Kirkhope throws on the ball, on the boots. Oh, it's a big... almost a mark brought down. But as we've seen again, ruck contest number 38. We're only half time. 24.5 minutes played. Second quarter. Tough mark there. He was absolutely sandwiched. And they come through. Crow, the youngster, on the left. That was the option, but as they've done so many times already today. The Bats in Handmore, floating across that defensive line. Called to play on, he does so. Oh, on the mark. Quite could have been easily marked there. I think it was Minicello again. But they're not done with yet, the Bats. Plenty of numbers, and they seem just determined to get that football in forward. The handball errant from the Students. Up high now. Two Bats spoil each other. It was Healy who came in from the side. He looks like he's done himself some harm. Thrown on the boot. McKay. But once again, the Bats repel. They go forward. They've got numbers now. Out there for the Bats. Flanagan. He turns inside. Gets the ball on the hands. Could be holding the man there. Umpire says play on. Dived in once again was Flanagan. He could be holding the ball here. And the umpire agrees with me. Crosses the arms. And the Students out of trouble once again. 26 minutes played. Can't be long to go in this second quarter. Only the 3 goals scored. Plenty of boundary throw-ins though. Out they come. The rain getting heavier as we speak. Down the line. This kick, a good one. Keisha in there. He almost brought that down, but it's the Students come away. Kennedy throws it on the boot. Does well to keep that in, but as we've seen so many times, it's Dragoning for the Bats. Happy to soak up a little bit of time. In fact, he looks like he's keen to have a shot here. Certainly had the distance. Thought he was too far out to score initially, but the distance wasn't an issue, and it floats across just the minus score. Deep into second quarter, deep into time on. Margin 17 points. Kick, low kick, didn't give his players much hope, and Kirkhope has been good for the Bats this quarter. He'll go back. Siren imminent. But him setting himself here. Must be a good kick. Looks confident. Kick from just inside 50. Gets plenty of air under the football. Looks like it's offline, and it is. Another minus score. So they've equalled the behinds now. The Bats. 4 goals, 7-31. 18 points the margin. In fact, the margin, purely the 3 goals that they've scored this quarter. The 2 early ones in the first 2 minutes. They seem to come very quickly, very easy. Only the 1 other goal scored this quarter, and that too was to the Bats. McWork turns around, looks at his options, but tried to be a little bit fancy with it. Fig caught out of position. Just not sure on this game plan that the Students are adopting to try and just ease the ball forward. The Bats, on the other hand, setting themselves up well across halfback, but at the same time very happy to just throw it long. Another boundary throw in. Just thrown on the boot. I tell you what, that is a fantastic kick for a behind. Would have been a spectacular goal in the wet. As the rain falls, we're starting to see a lot of surface water here at the University Oval. 19 points the margin. Very much a winning margin in the wet. Silly thing to say, I suppose 1 point is a winning margin, but very hard to come back from 19 points down when the rain is falling like it is. Plenty happening at the moment. The Students have the numbers here. Can they push it forward? Opportunity now, and it's a good mark taken by Robertson. He plays on quickly, just throws on the boot. Fig, can he get there in time? No. And a minus score to the Students. 29.5 minutes in this second quarter. Seems a long quarter from the football we've played. We've seen some long quarters of football here at Sydney University. The mark. That's not 15, and it is played on. Comes back through. That was Underwood who scrubs the kick forward. Fig almost looks like he's on the treadmill. Couldn't get the legs pumping. Now Reichman goes inside. Once again, a nice short little kick that doesn't come off. They've worked hard here, and there's the siren for the half time. A tough quarter of football. Students unable to put a goal on the board, whereas the UTS Bats came out on fire, kicked the first 2 of the quarter, put another one at the tally. So at half time here at the University Oval, number 1, it's the Sydney University Students, 1 goal, 8-14. The UTS Bats, 4 goals, 8-32. Very much the Bats' quarter, that one. And as I said, the margin at the moment, 18 points. It's going to be tough for the students to come back in this second half. The Bats have worked very, very hard. Just get the feeling that they need to adapt a little bit, try and just get that ball forward. There is a slight breeze which is favouring right of screen. So maybe if the students can come out in that second half, get a couple of early ones on the board and get this ball forward. They've been a disciplined side though, the UTS Bats. We've seen them a couple of times this year. They work well together, and again they find themselves up here at half time. So once again, the margin, 18 points at half time here at the University Oval, number 1. We'll take a short break. We'll be back in roughly about 15 minutes for all the action in the second half. The AFL Sydney Match of the Week. Well, I think it's the internet, not bound by the broadcasting rules. Yeah, did you never play those? Yeah. One of them we grabbed it. So you got that camera? Yeah, I threw it on this system before I let them know.
so easy.
I think what's going to happen is
Yeah. The other sessions are better.
Just about to get underway for the third quarter here at Sydney University. It's the Sydney Uni Students versus the UTS Bats. Round 11, AFL Sydney. And at the moment, it's the Bats enjoying the 18-point margin. Can the students string something together early in this third quarter and get themselves back in this game? McGuirk comes wide now. In there as well as Krochmal. He's working hard at the bottom of the packs, but it's the Bats who push it forward. Once again, adopting to just get the ball forward at all costs. Good tackle applied. And the umpire is going to call that in the back. Free kick to the students. Moyle it was giving it away for the Bats. We come down the line again. This kick didn't quite come off the boot as he expected. Turner in there for the Bats. Wrapped up in the tackle was Tregonning. And we'll see. Ball up. Doherty it was who laid the tackle. Here we go again. Kennedy wins this one down for the students. He's been doing a ton of work in the ruck. They push it forward again. Good pick up. Nice work there from Hanmore. But once again, just hits the deck. Players happy to just try and throw it on the boot at the moment. They go through the ice rink that is the centre of the University Oval. Students have done well here to push this forward. Here it is. Looks like Horton out there. It's not. It's Carter. Here's McGuirk. He turns. Seems to find his way around. Doesn't get the ball on the boot. The handball comes out. The umpire says holding the ball. Ball comes back. Morley, I've loved his game today. This kick, not a great one, but as always seems to happen, fortune favours the brave, and Boland takes the mark right on the sideline. They go forward. Kennedy gets his hand into this one to affect the spoil. Plenty of Bats around this footy. They just seem cleaner with their football when they've got it in their hands. They go forward now. Minicello just throws on the boot. Keisha's working back there, as is Carey for the students, and they've done well. Carey saw the Shepherd coming, just took the step back and avoided the contact. But still plenty of words going on out there, as you can see. Kennedy up against, no, Minicello came out up there. Ball comes to the deck. We'll see another boundary throw in. Tough day for football out here. The rain hasn't stopped since we started this game. Off the deck for the Bats. You can just see there some surface water starting to form. Off the deck goes Moyle it was. Just the minor score. All players have formed themselves right down the spine of the oval here. The option's got to be the long kick. They do that now, the students. Out they come. Kennedy at the back, lumbering along. Good pick up by Krochmal. They move it down the far wing. They've worked this well, the students, but chopping in there is Spragg. And he butters up again, throws on the boot. Once again, just opting to throw it long. And it seems to be working for them at the moment. 4 minutes in. Seen just the minor score. The margin at half-time was 3 goals, 18 points. Just the minor score to UTS. The umpire's seen a hold here. The free kick will go to the Bats. And it's Morley. He's been everywhere. He throws on the boot, goes forward. Plenty of players. Here's Keisha again, picks it up well, but wrapped up in the tackle nicely. Pushes it forward, trying to get some advantage. Students need to get this out of the danger zone. Keisha in there again, as is McGuirk. Could have been pushed in the back. Umpire says no. Working hard, both teams. On the boot was Tregonning. To the top of the square. They've got numbers here, these Bats, if they can use them. Keisha is lurking. Couldn't get the ball on the boot. Umpires called the free kick and advantage is paid. McGuirk comes down the line. His kick is an ordinary one. Falls in the hands of Spragg. And he'll bomb them long again. Ball comes in. Going to be a tough ball to mark. Hits the deck with the pickup. Nice work there by McFarlane. He's working hard, trying to get this ball clear. Can they get it out? McGuirk's lurking there for the students. Ball just sort of floating around in a little pack at the moment. No one can get the ball clear. Umpire will have to ball this up, although it pops out. Students again, McGuirk. Trying to do the right thing, holding his feet where other players around him were falling down. But the ball's gone over for a boundary throw-in. They need goals and they need them quickly at the moment, the students. Kennedy up against Gardner in the ruck for the Bats. Kennedy brings this down again. He's been good in the ruck, but it's been the players on the deck that have made the difference. Have another ball up. Next week, Sydney University take on Campbelltown, whereas the Bats take on an informed Pennant Hills. Updated score from the Pennant Hills game saw Pennant Hills leading by 3 goals at quarter time, but the Sydney Hills Eagles have come back, kicked 6 goals in the second quarter. They now lead by 3 goals at half time. Must be a big breeze blowing out there at Mike Kenny Oval. Bottom of the pack now. Plenty of numbers around this. A tough decision here to do anything other than throw the ball in the air again. See in the background, 6.5 minutes played. Down they come. Just need to get this ball clear. They do so now, but once again clogged up. Students just throwing it on the boot. Comes out wide. Ball now with O'Dwyer. He turns inside, does very well in the wet conditions. Kicks to the top of the square. Almost threaded the needle there to Keisha. Couldn't hold the chest mark. Very gettable. McGuirk in there. Got to be careful. He might get pinged. Ball's out now. Plenty of numbers. Keisha just ducks his head in there. Umpires called it high. It's a tough call. He went into that ball hard and ducked his head. Plenty of feeling around this. James Keisha will come up with the football. A little bit fortuitous, I thought. But the end result will be a shot on goal for James Keisha. He's been very dangerous up forward today. As we said, currently sitting 7th on the goal kicking ladder in the AFL Sydney competition. Kicked 17 before today, led only by his teammate in 5th position in Lavender, who's kicked 20. Keisha off the boot, ugly looking kick. The result only a minor score. He'll be upset with that, James Keisha. Just didn't seem to settle on the football. Students get away with it. Now they come in numbers. Kennedy is the target. Fig has worked himself up the ground, wrapped up in the tackle, not coming out of there. So another ball up, just outside the 50-metre zone, in the UTS attacking zone. That was Trigoning. His kick just pulled at the last second. It's gone out of bounds on the full. He brought back in by Carey for the students. Does the smart thing, waits for the ball to roll back down the hill. Just need to get this long. Does so now. McGuirk, the target, just goes through 3 sets of hands and hits the deck. McGuirk's worked it well again. Thrown it on the boot. And once again, plenty of numbers around this ball. Ball's come out. The umpire was on his way to throw it up. Took the easy option. And now the Bats working hard. Puts us forward to the top spot. Here they have numbers. Comes out to Keisha. Could have thrown it on the boot. Decided not to. Unfortunate there. He may have been holding the ball. Umpire said it play on. Minicello doing a ton of work. the big man in there. Just get the feeling here. Keisha again in the middle of it. Ball's thrown up. Pushed forward now for the students, but they just can't seem to get clean footy. Fitzpatrick in there. He's doing a ton of work, trying to get out the other side, but the ball wrapped up. And once again, ball will be thrown in the air. Down it comes. Now they get it clear, but it's only the Bats. Boland throws it forward, looking for Keisha. Had the second grab on it. Could have been in the back. Umpire says no. Play on. He's in the thick of everything at the moment, Keisha. Ridden a lot of tackles. Getting up very slowly. There'll be some tired boys at the end of this contest. And the umpire's seen blood. We know they're quick on that. Just a blood nose. Nothing major. Gives us all a chance to regroup. No one forward of halfway for the students at the moment. There's plenty of numbers pushed back. Kennedy and Gardner, third man up, pushes it forward for the students, off the deck. Once again, Boland there, couldn't take the handle, decided to try and push it forward. Good option in the end. Turner throws on the boot, travels about 3 metres, so it's play on. And here we go again. Playing in the mud, the boys are. Through the middle. Horton couldn't get the tackle applied. Now comes out from Hall. Students wrapped up. Holmes it is with the footy. And we'll have another stoppage. Just so tough to get clean football in these conditions. Tregonning finds the ball out the back of the pack, throws it long. They've got numbers here. Keisha again, but once again wrapped up. Trying to work out whether it's James Keisha or a tackling bag at the moment. And the umpire's seen a little bit here. Got to be careful that he doesn't give away a free kick. He may very well have. In fact, he's got the kick there, Mick Carey. James Keisha, he's been battered and bruised since the start of this game, and that kick is very ordinary for the students. Gives UTS another chance to put a score on the board. Tough kick from in the pocket. Distance won't be a problem. On the boot and just fading across the face of goal for the Miners score. Margin 21 points, 12, nearly 13 minutes this third quarter. You just get the feeling the Sydney University team need to get the ball forward. They need to put a couple of goals on the board to have any chance in winning this game. That kick's a good one. Just goes long. They've got numbers there. Crockmole it is, working the ball well. And despite the fact it's gone over the boundary line, we now find ourselves forward of halfway for the Sydney Uni Students, and it was only the one kick that did it. I feel like they need to do a little bit more of that. Get the ball forward. Then turn them into scoring opportunities. UTS now. Crockmole again on the hands. Spinning and weaving in wet conditions. It's a tough gig. Rocked up was Kirkham. Now they work it through, just bundling through the students. Pushes it forward. Here's the opportunity, but Adamson it is there who's got back. Just can't seem to get that ball forward at the moment, the students. Inside. O'Dwyer, his handball over. Looking for Hall. Hall turns and kicks, but the ball go out of bounds on the full. Very tough going. We've said it before. That ball out of bounds again. We've had plenty of rain all throughout the week. Number of grounds closed in Sydney. And the rain has not stopped today. much happening here. Kirkhope it was, threw it on the boot. Some interesting. Boundary umpire was asked the question. He'll come back and throw it back in. Kennedy doing all the ruck work for the students at the moment. Linus up against him now. He's done well again, Kennedy. Brought it forward, but the ball just hits the deck and stops. Tregoning tries to get this clear. Comes through now. He's worked up. Second effort is a good one. Pushing it forward. Just couldn't get the boot on ball. Plenty going on there. Just for our live viewers, an updated score from Mike Kenny Oval. Pennant Hills 6 goals, 21. Eagles 7 goals, 3. So Pennant Hills have got plenty of football out there, but just can't get it through the big sticks. UTS now off the deck. Umpire calls play on. That's a tough call. You'd pay that in the wet. 15 metres, shrinks in water. And now Handmore throws it forward. The rain getting heavier. No sign of letting up here. We do have fine weather forecast for tomorrow. There's certainly some water going to be falling between now and then. Down it comes. Trying to do the jink and jive was lie. Numbers here for the students. Can they work it out? Kennedy throws on the boot. Just goes forward 20, 25 metres. Put on his... Well, the free kick was given away by Dowdy. Just throwing some weight around in the wet. Steinfort drives it long. And there is Way. Kirkhope wrapped up is Kennedy for the students. In fact, the umpire's seen a free kick. It's against Gardner. Callum Kennedy will have the kick. The kick is very ordinary off the boot. Almost kicked it with his middle toe. Now, Mitch Hall throws it forward. Almost a mark there to Minicello. Opting not to take possession of the ball was O'Dwyer. The ball's out of bounds once again, right on the 50-metre zone. The margin, 21 points at the moment. Sydney University not troubling the scorers so far this quarter. Just a couple of minor scores to UTS, and that's pretty much the way the football's going to be today. It was really those first 2 goals in the second quarter by UTS that have been the difference. They locked on 2 goals in the first 2 minutes of the second quarter. And we've not seen a lot of scoring, certainly not a lot of major scoring since then. Just the 1 goal. Held up there is Mayrick. It's a good tackle. Nick Lai doing a bit of work around the ground. Once again, the ball's up. Kennedy doing all the ruck work for the students. They push this forward now. Fig is the option. Overrun was Handmore. Fig tries to get it off the deck. Wrapped up. There was McCreary. Haven't seen a lot of him today. And once again, they decide to just punch it on the boot. Seems to be the option today. Coming through the middle now are the Bats. Off the deck was Healy. And they've just moved this forward well. Couldn't quite find the handle of the students. Now they get some work away. Through the middle. Almost the mark there. To Alex Horton, but couldn't bring it in. Now the play seems to have opened up a bit. Now they need to move it quickly. Comes back down, finds McWork. He just wants to relax, settle down on the play. Looking for an option, puts it in front of Fig. Couldn't bring it down. It was good work there by Jonathan Linus, but he's hurt himself. Pulled straight away for the physio. He's not in a good way. Almost decapitates the physio on his attempts to get off. He's up and about, but he doesn't look good. Once again, boundary throw in. Can the students build something here? Comes in, Kennedy over the back. Just no one there though for the students. Hitting the ball hard. Just seems to be pushing. It's the UTS just pushing the ball forward. Just these, even in these scrimmages, just getting it 1 or 2 metres forward every time. Putting Sydney Uni under the pressure. Oh, stolen there. That was good work by Healy. He throws on the boot, going forward. Plenty around the pack. Kennedy in there for the students. As is. Worked it well here. Once again, Boland drives it in. They won't let up on the students' backline, the Bats. Finding there McKay could be held without the football. Umpire says play on. Probably disagree with that one. Over the top. He's done very well here, the students. Just to get the ball out. They go forward again now, and that's the option in the wet. Good work there by Robertson. Chest mark. Got the headband on. We love a headband in AFL Sydney. Short little kick now. Horton it is out there. He's wrapped up, not happy with his efforts. Good work. Once again in there was Robertson. And they've worked it well now, Sydney. Can they get something out of this? Ball comes clear. Lie it is for the students. He turns. Can he get the hands? No, the boundary umpire is going to deny him. Tried to show the ball. Unfortunately, showed it over the boundary line. Fitzpatrick throws it forward. One-on-one contest. The students have done well to hold feet. Nice little handball out there. Was too nice. Working back on it is Dyson. McGuirk pushes it forward. Fig there for the students, but it overruns him. Fitzpatrick lays the tackle. We'll have a boundary throw in. This is better for the students. More of an open setup at the moment. Earlier we had lots of players around the ball trying to get some clean footy. Once again in there was McGuirk doing some good things around the play. That'll be play on. Here they go now, the Bats. They've worked that well. Just a couple of bat-ons. And the mark taken. O'Dwyer. He goes forward, and Minicello's worked. No, it's not Minicello out there. It's Wallace. He'd worked himself into space. Here's Keisha now. Can he get it on the boot? Dribble it forward. He throws it on the boot. I tell you what, that's a great goal. James Keisha from an impossible angle. And that one really hurts. A day like today, it's goals like that that are going to be the difference. Just hit the ball, got it off the deck. It was a clean bounce. Just threw it on the right boot. And he's been in everything, Keisha. Only the 5 goals last week, and Keisha was one of those goal kickers, certainly named in their best. Between him and Morley today, I think they've certainly been standouts for the UTS Bats. That man we just mentioned, Morley, pushes it forward, but that's good work by Dyson, just coming in from the side, chopping off the offensive attack. Calling for players to come to him. I think the option's probably for him to just go over the back. Comes down Fig doing some work there. Hasn't seen a lot of it today. Just the 1 goal for the students. But comes. And strangely enough, we have another ball up. So a boundary throw in. Ball comes in, Kennedy versus Morley. They work it now. Kirkhope finds his way through traffic somehow. Keisha lurking. Here he is. To put this through. There is Wallace for the Bats. Just need to somehow get this clear of the area. It's going to be a ball up right in the square. Another goal here for the Bats, and you'd think it might be insurmountable. As it is, they need to get some scores on the board quickly, the Students. 25 minutes into the third quarter. It'll have to be a massive last quarter. Minus score for the Bats. And the rain continues to fall. Big, long, clearing torpedo punt. They've done well. And here we go, the Students. They've got it clear. Working now. Nick Bly. He turns. Has he got anything up forward? He has, and that's better play from the Students. Just floating forward. Andrew Holmes, and you can put it down to that kick in, the big long torpedo punt. Just floated over the back of the packs. And Holmesy, he'll line up. Tough kick, the water falling heavy now. It'll be like kicking a bag of wet mud. Holmes on the right, the boot comes off, but does the ball go through the middle? I've seen strange ways to kick a goal, and that's one of them. But the result's on the board. Tough to get the boot back on in the wet too, but he's done well there. Andrew Holmes. Rather the ball go through than the boot. For one moment there, I thought they could have both gone through. As we said, just a long torpedo punt out from the kick in from the behind. Another kick, and they've got a goal on the board, the Students. Can they build from there? Margin now, 22 points. Pushing it forward again. It's McKay out there for the Students in 47. Just wrapping them up in the tackle. You've a little bit of a spring in the step of the Students now. Reichman, bottom of the pack. Kennedy against Wallace. Coming clear with the football now. Gardner. But right next to the boundary line. Important goal for the Students. Brings them back within 22 points. In it comes. The water really starting to sit on top of the oval now. Students, your hot shower deserved for everybody after this match. They come through again. Boland couldn't find the ball. Just pushing it forward. The kick now comes forward. Robertson pushes it wide. Could have been kicking in danger. The umpire said no, and they move it away. Through Handmore, his long kick. Kennedy couldn't hold on to it. The kick forward now. Students have got numbers. Can they get this clear? Ball knocked out. Crockmole in there. He's wrapped up. Umpire should throw this in the air. And will. As we said earlier, it's the Bendigo Bank Pewmont Family Day here at Sydney University. Hopefully they brought the family rug, but here he is again. James Keisha will have another shot on goal. He's been in the thick of everything today. 29 minutes into this third quarter. A goal here will make it very difficult for the Students. Comes in. Siren imminent. The kick once again, he's just pulled that to the left. He's had plenty of opportunities and his kicking has let him down a little bit today. 5 goals 13, 43. UTS lead, Sydney University 2 goals 8, 20. Margin 23 points. They come through the middle. And there's the siren. It's 3-quarter time. here at Sydney University. And a late goal to the students sees that they're not quite out of the game yet. At the moment, it's all UTS Bats, but with the margin only 23 points, there is time if they're good enough. Sydney University have kicked 2 goals, 8-20. UTS at the moment, 5-13-43. The margin, 23 points. It's all in front of the students at the moment. The Bats have worked harder in the wet. With some hard work there at the end of the quarter from the students has seen them reduce the margin back to what I think is an attainable margin. But they'll have to work hard if they're going to get themselves back into this. It's 3-quarter time here. It's the Bats by 23. We'll be back in about 5 minutes' time for all the action from the last quarter here at Sydney University. So final quarter here at Sydney University with the rain continuing to fall. The margin at the moment, 23 points in favour of the UTS Bats. Sydney University getting a late goal in that third quarter just to keep them in touch. Can they come out and really make a game of this? Tough conditions to be trailing football, but it might be a big effort. Can the UTS Bats hold on? We'll see with all the final action. Round 11, Sydney University versus UTS. And once straight out of the middle, the Sydney University go. Figures in there, couldn't bring it in. Working hard now. Mitch Hall for the Bats. He'll just throw it on the boot. Was that touched off the boot? No. Sydney University will get the kick in. They'll go into attack again. Underwood with the ball. Come round on his mark. Be one cold water runner down there. Underwood kicks it in. He goes long. At the back is Fig lurking. Doesn't get to him. McGuirk it is on the bottom of the pack. Could have been pushed in the back. Umpire says play on. They come out now. Through. That was Turner for the Bats. Can't get it out of the danger zone. Can they do it now? Just a short kick off the deck. Running up there is, can't see that is 52, is Fitzpatrick. His left foot kick doesn't go the full distance. Figs down now with an injury. Couldn't get off the deck. Attack that footy. Ball comes clear now, almost holding the ball. Umpire says play on in these conditions. Healy's handball goes wide. Happy to see this over the boundary line, the Bats. Have a boundary throw in. Lights taking full effect at the moment, as is the rain. Ball comes in, Kennedy, been ruck work all day. He'll be a tired boy at the end of today's events. Wrapped up. We'll see another throw up by the umpires. They've been good today. They've let it play. Difficult conditions not only to play in but also to umpire in. Ball goes up. Can they build something, the students? A quick goal here will reduce the margin. Come down to 17 points. It's still all ahead of them. They've only kicked 2 goals for the game. They need to kick at least another 4 to win this. UTS, they've worked hard. Take nothing away from them. Been very good in the wet conditions. As we said before, they played last week in the wet. Took on Western Suburbs and came away 11-point winners. So they've had some experience, some recent experience playing in these conditions. And their tactic, as I've said throughout the game, of just getting the ball on the boot, kicking it long, has certainly worked well for them. Another example of that now. The ball comes forward. Kennedy does well to spoil, but it's handed off. UTS now with a shot on goal. Has it got the distance? It has. That's a fantastic kick on goal. Tregoning it was. Hit the ball at pace, took it cleanly and threw it on the boot. And you think that might be just too much for the Sydney University boys. Back in what we deem to be the centre. Certainly no line markings remain on the centre wicket area. Down it comes. Sydney once again get the clearance. They go forward. McGuirk there hitting the ball hard. Gets it up now. Just a nice short little kick. Puts it forward. Caught behind there the players from Sydney University. Crockmole applies the tackle. They get it clear again. Here they go. Students turn around. Dyson throws it on the boot. The kick's only a short one. McGuirk. They'll see this over the line. No. Brings it back in. Here they go. Dyson again. No. That's Crow in there. The young fella. Umpire's seen a free kick here. It's a high tackle. It'll be McGuirk. That is not static on the screen you're seeing. That is heavy, persistent rain. Be a good kick from here. He'll kick from just inside the 50-metre arc. Kick to the top of the square. Plenty of players around that. Figs in there for the students. There are plenty of bats around this ball. Comes out now. Good work. Adamson it was. Clearing kick. Headed in the direction of Moyle. And he's happy to see it over the boundary line. Plenty of boundary line throw-ins here at Sydney University today. On the end of most of them has been Ryan Kennedy for the students. He's had plenty of opponents today. They move it out now, the Bats, working it down the line, literally just inside the boundary line. Comes through. There for the Bats is Ben Moyle. Done some good things today. Like this game. Here we go again. Another boundary throw in. Winning it this time for the Bats is Jonathan Linus. 6 minutes played this final quarter, the margin 29 points. You think the UTS boys have got this one wrapped up? Be the third in a row for them. They've only dropped the 3 games this season. They've certainly been the big improvers of the AFL Sydney competition. And they'll be eyeing off a final spot. Don't worry about that. It's been a good step up for the UTS boys, entering the competition only recently after having a lot of success at the lower levels of footy. Here they come again, slipping over. Sydney Uni worked back well. The handball comes out. Just no opportunity. You just can't turn on a dime today. It's more like turning on a parachute. Something larger than that. Lo and behold, another boundary throw-in. Umpire will be asked to throw this one in again. Bats have done very well here, just driving it forward. Sydney University will be celebrating as well their club ball tonight. So no doubt they'll be frocking up, having a wonderful time here. We've got great facilities here to enjoy here in the grandstand bar. Just see there in the foreground. Good spot to watch football from. Keep dry, keep hydrated. Kennedy in the ruck again for Sydney University, this time Callum Kennedy. Bats drive it forward, just hoping to get it into that danger zone, convert this to another goal and put the students out of their misery. Once again, in there is Tregoning. He's wrapped up in a good tackle by Lai and is rewarded for the tackle. Nick Lai will take the kick. Tregoning not willing to give the football up for him. In the end, common sense prevails. They go across goal now, the students. Tim Eyre dropped the ball, but they're good enough to get away with it. Carey goes long. Crockmale now, just holding up. A few groans from the crowd, hoping that they get that ball on a lot quicker. And as it was, UTS now will return the favour and get it back inside 50. Ball drops short. Dean McKay has it now. His kick straight through the middle. Wouldn't be trying to run too quickly on that stuff. Doherty right in the centre of the wicket. He goes wide. Really hoping that ball would skid on a lot more than it did. Mitch Hall in there. Ball will go out. UTS would have come into this game very much the favourites, but the weather and the conditions would have thrown in a bit of a variable. But so far they've been good enough. And they will take the points today, consolidate their spot up in the top 5. The concerning thing, I suppose, for the UTS is the games that they've dropped. They've dropped the game against the Bulldogs, a game against Balmain, and a game against St George. 3 teams that will feature in finals. So a little bit of work to do there before the point end of the season for the Bats, if they're to go deep into September. Certainly the top 5 in the AFL Sydney competition really starting to become apparent. It's a good smother there from Fitzgerald. Sorry. It is. It's Fitzpatrick. Certainly the Bulldogs, Pennant Hills, North Shore, Balmain and UTS. Possibly St George, the only other team that is going to vie for a top 5 spot. So wins like this for UTS, very important. Need to maintain their spot in the 5. Hopefully improve, get away from St George. Only a very small margin between them and St George for that 5th spot. The other thing, UTS yet to enjoy the spoils of a bye. They've played 10 games this season so far, 10 straight. This is number 11. And they play Pennant Hills next week. Not sure when they do actually get the first of their byes. They will play 2. Other teams in the competition, such as North Shore and Balmain, only have played the 7 games so far, so the ladder at the moment's a little bit deceptive on how it's panning out. Of course, the Sydney AFL working on a match ratio system. At the moment, it's the Uni New South Wales, Eastern Suburbs and Pennant Hills both playing 8 games, 7 wins, 1 loss, separated only by percentage. Bulldogs enjoying a few big wins this year so far, so sitting atop the ladder. Balmain, a percentage of 242. Certainly the team that have racked up the big wins so far this year. Holding the ball's the call. It's a tough decision. It's going against the students, against Nick Lai. He can't understand it. Asks the question. Oh, big fly at the back of the pack. That's Minicello. Could have been holding the man. Umpire didn't pay the free kick against him. Now the students are running away with it. Errant handball. Once again, the UTS Bats not unhappy to just throw it on the boot, and it falls fortuitously. Tregoning it is. He puts it through, and surely that's the end of the students. Margin 35 points. We've played 13 and a half minutes of this final quarter. And right now, just think it's going to be too much for the students to come back at. They've played well, UTS. As I've said all day, they've just had no worries throwing the ball on the boot, playing and kicking it long. And in that case, it was Tregoning, the recipient, fell right into his lap. Open goal. And another major on the board. Kennedy against Morley back in the middle. Just like walking on ice at the moment through that middle section. Ball comes out. Lurking again is Tregoning. He'd be keen to put another one through the middle. Bottom of the pack, Crow. It's tough out there. Make no mistakes about that. Just off the deck. McGuirk in there for the Students, but it's well picked up. Healy, he comes wide, got a player free. That's Spragg. Spragg foots it forward. The last line of defence. It's Fitzpatrick. He goes wide now. Gets it back. Willing to run is Ben Fitzpatrick. Tackled. Here's Kirkhope for the Bats. Too far out to score, you'd think, although he looks confident. A little bit deceptive here at Sydney University with the 50-metre arcs. Just cutting into the square, so don't get to see the top of the arc, but he'll be kicking pretty much right on 50 metres, you'd think. Wet football, you have to get a good piece of it. Kirkhope gives it some air. It's going to fall short. At the front is Minicello. He couldn't bring it down. Pack forms underneath there. Kennedy off the boot, off the deck. His kick goes to Moyle. Falls fortuitously. It's another goal on the board. He's had a great game, has Andrew Morley today. He's been everywhere. Probably my best on ground for today's game. Just the way he set himself up across half-back early on and repelled a lot of the attacks from Sydney University. Gets himself a goal. He'll be happy with that. Ruckman always enjoy a goal. So, approaching the 17-minute mark. This game well and truly over. Any hope that Sydney University came out of their late goal in the third quarter has now been quashed. And there is Crockmole for the Students. Ball comes clear. Goes back through Lai. He's had plenty of it in this second half. The kick forward is just chopped off by Sam Way for the Bats. Comes out. Unable to hold it was Morley. But they still scrub the ball forward. They'd like to see this go out, the Bats, and it does. Just playing out the final few moments here. Strange weekend of football. A lot of games being either cancelled or postponed. Some moved to separate grounds. A credit to the Sydney University for allowing this game to go ahead. The ground holding up very well. If not for the centre, the actual outskirts of the ground have been very good today. The longer turf has allowed it to just maintain its composure. It's like playing football with a cake of soap at the moment. No one can really get the pick up. That was good work there by Dyson. He scrubs it forward, and if it can get, it is getting heavier. Rain has just been falling at a constant rate today, making conditions very, very difficult. Comes the football. They work it again through the middle. We're wanting to make sure those showers are hot when they get off the field here today. Kick over by Moyle, just kicks to space. Minicello there couldn't get the handle. Working hard though at the bottom of the pack again against Kennedy. Kennedy gets up, tries to run away with it, but Minicello's got his tail. Here they go again. Crockmole, his kick. Falls again to the big man. Drives them forward. UTS in attack now. It's all Students. Turning around. Just a little bit too tricky in the wet conditions, I think Sydney Uni have been today. UTS on the other hand not concerned with just throwing on the boot, getting it forward. But they've worked this well, the students. Crow drives it forward. Robertson throws it on the boot, looking for Fig. The ball out of bounds. As we said, next week, Campbelltown and Sydney University will do battle out there at Monarch Oval, whilst UTS will host Pennant Hills in what will be a very important game for UTS. It's the games against the teams above them on the ladder that they need to win, just to shore up that final spot in the 5. Certainly UTS very confident in wanting to play in finals after their promotion into the Major League a couple of years ago. They've worked it well too, UTS. They're a match day sponsor today, ADP Payroll Systems. A match day sponsor for pretty much every game they've played so far this year, home and away. I'm sure they'll be enjoying the support, as do all of the AFL Sydney teams from their sponsors. They do a lot of stuff, ADP Payrolls, all spelt out in this week's record. But if you want to check out what they do, adppayroll.com.au. Support the companies that support local footy. And it comes Minicello doing the ruck work for the Bats. Just ticked into time on. Just playing this one out at the moment. Both teams will be keen to get off the field, knock up a warm shower and put this one behind them. Sydney University enjoying their ball tonight. Certainly a few players, I'm sure, will have the tuxedo, the bow tie and the mud in the ear. They come away now, Sydney Uni. Throw it through the middle. Won't be able to turn on this stuff. Drives it forward again. Plenty of players around this. Falls to the back of the pack. O'Dwyer there. His handball chopped off by Crow. And he drives it forward. Fig further down the ground. Could have been holding the man. Umpire says he was over the ball. So UTS will come away with it through Steinford. He goes inside. Goes to deck. Hard tackling still here at the University Oval. Just can't seem to get the ball up at the moment. Both teams, they've fought hard, but the footy gods have not shone on conditions today. So once again, Tregoning, he's been good for the Bats in this second half. Driven forward by the Bats in Fitzpatrick, but there it is, the final siren here at Sydney University. It's been a long day of football, and just as the siren sounds, the rain seems to be getting just that little bit lighter. Tough conditions for both teams, but it's the UTS Bats that have come away the victors. 8 goals 13, 61, defeating Sydney University 2 goals 8-20. They set it up early, although it was the students who went into the first break with the margin 4 points. They were 1-4-10. So the Bats 1 goal 6. It was the second quarter. The Bats came out, kicked 2 goals very early on in the piece, set the margin up. They went into the halftime break 4-8-32, leading the Sydney University 1-8-14. They matched them in the third quarter, the students. 1 goal apiece, 2-8-20, 5-13-43. A late goal at Sydney University giving them some hope. But in the end, it was the Bats who were too good, getting that margin out to 41 points in the end. 8-13, 61, 2 goals, 8-20 here at the University Oval. It's been a tough day for football. It's been a tough day for everyone involved. And the supporters now will retire into the warmth of the bar and talk about how good the game was today. And we'll do the same here at the AFL Sydney Match of the Week. Join us again next week as we cover another great game here in the AFL Sydney competition. But for now, it's the UTS Bats winners, round 11, 8-13-61. Sydney University 2 goals, 8-20.